Bulk prepping, bulk cooking simplified. Hello everyone, I'm Jason van Heerden.
And my name is Shani Lachransi.
And we are Pretoria Dietitian. Let's jump straight into the video. Protein. So let's start off with the biggest complaint that I normally get in my practice when following a meal plan. One of them is, Jason, okay, but the cooking takes time and it takes effort. And if I bulk cook, the food can end up looking and tasting quite bland. So how do we make bulk prepping easy and delicious and as well as little time as possible? So let's start with the protein. So for today's purposes, we are going to be using chicken. We're going to be using some meat, and then we are going to be using some crumbed fish as well. Which you might be saying, oh, Jason, but crumbed fish, it's got a bit of processed. Isn't that bad for you? And that's why it's good to have a look into that, because fish we often struggle to get in our, let's say, in our normal diets. And then if it's an easy way to get in some extra protein, to get in your iron and your omega-3s. Yes, the outside, it's a bit crumbed. Yes, and in our meal plans, we actually adjust a little bit for that in the calories, but it's a very easy and convenient option for if you're running late, having defrosted your food, you can quickly pop that in the oven or in the air fryer. How are we now going to cook all this protein? So there's many different ways we can go about it. So number one is that today we have our beautiful chicken. So that we've got our lemon juice. You can even add some wonderful spices in there, that lemon juice, just to make it that much softer. And then what you can also do, add some lovely spices. You can add then lots of herbs that you can add in there to make it just taste that much better. You can also, for today's purposes, we are going to then be using our meat on the pan. So let's quickly open that up. And it is a gorgeous non-stick pan that we're going to be using. Less oil. You can put some spray and cook in there as well. You can also put in some lovely oil in there as well. So today we're going to be popping that on there and cooking that there. And then we're also going to be putting our fish in the air fryer, just to show the versatility of no matter what you have, we can look at that bulk cooking. But one of the kind of, let's say, obstacles that people tell me is, Jason, but I can't have chicken or fish or meat 3 days in a row. Then what you can do is you can actually then have a bigger, let's say, pan over here that you can then put your meat and chicken in at the same time. Because generally, if you're putting it then in the oven, you can then put it at about 180 degrees Celsius, and you can put it on the bottom grill or the top grill. And we're going to be using it in combination with the vegetables just now when Shani comes to talk. And in that way, normally we put it on for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how well you want the food cooked. Of course, you've got to be making sure with the fish and with the chicken that it is well cooked. And then from there, we're going to actually be putting it in the ovens, and you'll see how quickly it takes. But if you think about it with regards to prepping, if you have your chicken, you've put in your spices, putting that in, let's say, a container that you can put in the oven, that is very, very quick. That takes less than 2 minutes. Yes, on the pan, it's a little bit more admin. You've got to be turning it, but something like an air fryer, that is minimal effort as well, that we can be combining all those aspects together. So you know how we spoke earlier about the meat and the chicken and the fish, that you can defrost and then cook as well. But shucks, you've woken up, you realize, oh my goodness, I forgot to defrost the food. The food is finished. You've run out of it. What you can then do is something easy such as tuna. Right, tuna, it's ready to go. Open it up, strain it. And then that is something easy. Put in some low-fat mayonnaise, put in some spices there. Bang, that with some, let's say, Provita that you have on hand, bang, you've got yourself some protein and a little bit of fiber in there as well. So with that going, with all the protein cooking, we want to quickly chat about the snacks as well. So we're going to actually start with, I'm going to just be preparing for 3 days. So I've just got myself some apples and I've got myself some nachos. So I'm just going to prepare for 3 days. So apple nachi, apple nachi, apple nachi. I've then, for example, also got my protein shakes. So with that, I've got my protein shake here that I've put in the container. This, I can then just pour, let's say, my 20 or 30 grams, however much we worked out in the meal plan, that you can then put in these containers ready to go. So it literally is that in the morning, it's a grab and go. It's easy as that. But even something like nuts, if you know, but listen, I should be having about 30 grams of nuts, to weigh that out every morning can be a bit tedious. So what you can then do, I just got myself a nice big bag of nuts. And then with that, I just got myself some nice containers as well. Put my containers there. I've weighed it out. It's a certain amount of grams. And then that's ready to go. I can just pop this in my lunchbox as is. Or, for example, with those wonderful veggie snacks that Shani made earlier, we're just going to quickly open that up. This is ready to go. It's been let's say, getting in all those wonderful, wonderful juices and spices. We know that I'm probably going to have about, let's say, 10 of these. For now, I'm just going to put about 3 in there. You've taken that out nice and quick. Then let's say, for example, the nuts, right? You've opened that if you want to. Let's say if it's biltong, something like that. Pop that in there and it's ready to go. Again, everything is grab and go. You want this to take less than a minute for everything that you want to do for your meal plan. So when you think healthy snacks, does popcorn come to mind? Popcorn is an incredible snack that we often like to put in our diets as a snack. So it's high in fiber, it's very, very filling, and it's low GI, really fantastic for diabetic clients. If it's so good for them, it's also be great for yourself. Another thing for interest that makes fruits and vegetables so good is that there's something called polyphenols, which is one of the aspects that makes it anti-inflammatory. And did you know popcorn is actually gram for gram quite high in polyphenols? So it's a fantastic addition to add to your diet and as a snack as well. To get that crunch, you can add some nice, let's say, for example, spices on there ready to go. Yes, you can think about, the ones that you pop in the microwave. Yes, it's got a bit more additional fat, but if you air pop it or make it yourself, it's going to be something incredible that you can enjoy as a snack. Another aspect I wanted to chat about is the yogurt, right? So having those, those 6 packs of yogurts, that is an incredible something that you can just grab out the fridge, pop that in your lunchbox, ready to go as a snack. Another version that you can do, and it might work out cheaper as well, if you get the bigger tubs, you can then, to the specification of your meal plan, you can then pour out that yogurt into little tubs. Another benefit of that is that if you want to add in a little bit of, let's say, extra berries or let's say some nuts in there as well to kind of, let's say, absorb in there, that it tastes even better when you have it. That's another great addition you can have there. Also, late at night, if you just want to have something a little bit sweet, a little bit crunchy, you can then have, for example, your popcorn, or you can also then have your yogurt as a fantastic option as well. So tuna. Something interesting about tuna is that we do actually recommend that we only have it about 2 times a week. Now, why is that? And why do I bring this up? Because many of my clients that have done bulk cooking have had tuna every single day for weeks on end. But there is a concern about that, and that is the mercury. So we're actually not too worried about the mercury if you're only having tuna, or let's say more of your fish on the lower end of, let's say, the food chain, only once or twice a week. So that really is okay. But if you are having it more than 2 times a week, or you're having excessive portions on it, that amount of mercury can start to build up in the body. But if it's only once or twice a week, we're not worried about those levels building up as well. So tuna is fantastic. It is a great, quick and easy alternative to go to, but we don't want to be having it more than twice a week. And there we go, our protein ready to go. You've now got your steak fillets, that's then gone. That's taken a few minutes to just back and forth. And then what you can also do, if you feel, just a tip, that if the meat is still sticking a little bit too much to the bottom, what you can do there, you can add in a bit of water just so that it doesn't stick, and it also just helps with that cooking process as well. And of course, during your cooking afterwards, add in your lovely spices as well, make it taste delicious. Another thing you can do is that also, the fish is now ready to go. So I'm just going to take it out. Crumb fish, ready to go. We're actually going to enjoy that just now. Fast and easy meal that you can have. Again, especially if you've now forgotten to, let's say, defrost something, an easy alternative to get that protein and omega-3s in. And also, can't forget, we also did the chicken. So now we've got our chicken. That's also nice. Oh, that's looking good. Then we've also added in, remember that lemon juice has also made it nice and soft as well. So it shouldn't be nice and dry. And then also another tip is if you want to do them both at the same time. Yes, you can cook your meat. Yes, you can cook your chicken. But what you can also do, you can then put it in, let's say, one container. Put the meat on one side, put the chicken there. And again, if you put it on 180 degrees, normally about 30 to 40 minutes, both of them will be cooked. And then you've got yourself let's say almost a 1-pot wonder, but a 1-oven wonder, so to say. That's ready to go. And with this, you can cut up, add your vegetables, and it's an easy and quick meal with that bulk cooking.
A lot more people are realizing the benefits of bulk cooking. It does take a little bit of time and planning beforehand, but definitely the benefits outweighs the cons. So what are some benefits we can expect with bulk cooking? Some benefits you can expect is the time that you would save through not having to cook every night and cleaning your kitchen so often. You can also expect a healthy, nutritious meal daily. The third reason can be you can minimize food wastage. Fourth reason, you can save a lot of money through avoiding ordering in when you don't have time. And bulk buying food for your bulk cooking. The fifth reason is you can practice portion control. And lastly, if you're a bit of a safety hazard, statistically, you decrease the chance of you burning yourself or burning down the kitchen. So what foods doesn't really work well for bulk cooking, or actually for just freezing them? So the vegetables that contains a lot of water, like your cabbage, your lettuce, your cucumber, freezing them unfortunately changes the texture a bit and makes it a bit soggy. Secondly, your pasta, not a good idea, also makes it a little bit mushy and soggy. And any cream-based sauces might separate when freezing, so it's not the best idea. But in general, these foods can last for about 3 days in the refrigerator. Okay, so let's bulk prepare some vegetables. So an easy way to bulk prepare some vegetables is just your roasted veg. So these vegetables you can either buy already pre-cut or take an hour or two out of the week to cut them yourself. Okay, so what are we going to do with this nice mixture of vegetables? You can see we have sweet potato here, baby marrow, red bell peppers, broccoli, and see patty pans. We're just going to season them with a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, and I have a nice mixture here of balsamic vinegar and olive oil. Just gonna pour some like that, just to get a bit more flavor. And then lastly, we are going to add some garlic. It's very anti-inflammatory, a lot of benefits. Can cause a bit of bloating for some people, but yes, super nice. Okay, so just sprinkle that over there. And let's pop it in the oven. So you're going to generally roast it for about 35 to 40 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius. Now let me get my oven mitt. Safety first. And while my vegetables are in the oven, let's make some veggie snacks for the week. So I have some carrots here that I'm going to cut up in nice sticks. So let's cut up just the parts there. Cut it in half. There we go. Don't have to be perfect, I'm not a chef. Okay. Half again. So I'm just going to grab my jar here of already julienne cut vegetables or your carrots. So I just added some water to make it a bit, or to keep it fresher for longer. But what you also can do is you can add some vinegar and pickle the carrots to make it a nice tangy taste. And another quick vegetable snack that I like to make is just your normal green beans. You just cut off the parts in the end, and then you have nice refreshing snacks throughout the day. You can even think about making a dip for your veggie snacks, like a bit of hummus or a bit of cream cheese for protein. It's not a bad idea. So for now, what I've done is just I added some water on the stove to boil for my corn on the cob, but I'm just going to prepare my gem squash so long. Let me add some sugar and cinnamon to the gem squash to help it caramelize a little bit more. The cinnamon is also helps for insulin sensitivity. Okay, and now I see my water is ready for my corn on a cob. So let me just take this off. Remember to rinse your vegetables. I'm just going to rinse quickly here. Now, don't try to cut this. You'll lose a finger. The easiest way is to just break it like that. There you go. Let me add some of my gem squash to the rest of the vegetables. So your gem squash will be ready in about 30 to 40 minutes and your corn on the cob in just about 5. You're just waiting for the corn to become a nice yellow bright color. So now we're going to bulk prepare some starch. So a lot of people rather prefer to make starch from fresh the day of because it's nice and quick. But one starch that we can bulk prepare very easily is our rice. So let's start off with that. So I have some white rice here because not a lot of people are a fan of brown rice, but there's a lot of recipes that can make the texture and taste a little bit better for brown rice. But in any case, for this video, it's white rice. So we're going to add a cup to our pan. And for every cup of rice, we add 3 parts of water. So let me get my water that has been pre-boiled. So while the rice is cooking, so just to know about white rice, it is high GI, but we can make it low GI. So I've prepared some lentils here. So lentils, very good, part of our legume family. Soluble fiber that can help to reduce cholesterol and solve a lot of gut issues. But you might ask, but legumes can of course cause a lot of bloating. But just a tip, leave the lentils or the beans overnight in water to reduce the fermentability before cooking it. So the lentils, we can just add a few spoons in here. And by adding the fiber of the lentils to the white rice, it automatically makes it more low GI. So what does GI stand for? It means glycemic index, means how quickly the starch or the sugar from the starch is being broken down. So of course we want a nice slow release of the sugar for nice stabilized energy throughout the day. So another thing that I like to add to my rice, I have a lot of lemons at home, but lemons can go off after a week or so. So I usually just pre-juice or pre-squeeze my lemons. I freeze it in ice cubes and then I add it to my rice for just a bit of extra flavor. So guys, just a quick tip, if you don't have time to make your starch, your couscous is a lifesaver. So I have some whole wheat couscous here. So I'm basically just going to make a cup. Let's make it some there. Okay, and then you add equal parts of water. So this water is pre-boiled. Then you just add that. And you just wait for about 5 minutes for it to absorb all the water, but you can add a little bit of salt and pepper. And there we go. So we bulk cook the veggies and starch under an hour. So we have our couscous here, roasted vegetables, corn on the cob, our gem squash, and our rice mixing with lentils. Just remember with the rice to wash it off beforehand. This helps for the rice to be less sticky, to help prevent it stick to the bottom of the pan and you burning it.
So you've done the bulk cooking, but now you've got to weigh it out. How do you do it? You can get yourself a scale. Electronic scale works very nicely. Now what you'll see there is that on the scale, if you've put something on it, there's a very nice function called the tar function. So you'll see there that it now weighs 61 grams, now it's 0. Now I know, listen, I need to get about 120 grams of chicken breast in there. So let's weigh that out. I've got there about 100 grams. So with that, I would just cut a little bit more to get to the 120. Also, what I can then do is I can press tar again. Then I know, for example, that I need to get in, let's say, for example, 60 grams of couscous. So there I've got my 18, and then basically I can go all the way up to my 60. You can tar again, and you know, listen, I need to get in 200 grams of vegetables. So you can add that up in there until you get to the total. And there you have it. Bulk cooking, simple. Remember at the beginning, we said, what are our goals? We wanted to have variety. Look at this. You wanted to save time, all of this done under an hour. Look at the incredible combinations that you could make from this and enjoy it. And from a taste standpoint, I mean, this is just some basic things that we've done. The amount of spices and herbs that you can add on here make it taste incredible.
Thank you for watching, guys. Please leave a comment below on your bulk cooking tips and maybe your struggles with bulk cooking that we can address it in another video. See you in your next one.
Bye-bye.